Welcome back to the Huntech Pro podcast with me, Johan Smith, as your host. We want to give a huge shout out to presenting sponsor today, My Trophy Room. Preserve your proudest moments with their app's seamless photo features, designed to display your hunting trophies like never before. Download My Trophy Room from Google Play or Apple App Store. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on our social media platforms under Huntech Pro. Whether you're a seasoned hunter, an inspiring outdoor enthusiast, or someone who simply loves the thrill of adventure, you're in the right place. Join us as we bring you exciting stories from the wild, expert insights into hunting and shooting gear, and a front row seat to some of the most exhilarating hunts around the globe. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and get ready to immerse yourself into the world of Huntech Pro, where every hunt has a story, and every story is worth sharing. Let's get started. Guys, thank you for joining in on today's podcast. Now, since we've started the podcast, I think it would be great to chat with people from all over the world. And since I've been on social media, there's so many people that we get in touch with. And today on the podcast, I've got Chad Faulkner. Now, he's from the company called Bone Cold TV. And if you guys have seen it on social media, they do hunts all over the world. So I think it would be great to chat with Chad today. Chad, thanks for joining me on today's podcast, man.
Hey, bud. It's great to talk to you.
No, it's so awesome, man. I see there's a lot of South African animals there behind you. That's really awesome, man.
Yeah. So this is what we call the Bone Cold Lodge. It's kind of my taxidermy shop / trophy room / hunting lodge. This is just my favorite place in the world to be.
Oh, that's really cool, but we'll jump into the episode so you can tell us more about that in a bit. But guys, thank you for joining us on today's podcast. You guys who listen now, me and Chad met on social media where he started with Bone Cold TV, where they are going, and all about his passion. So Chad, I think this will be a great start for us to talk. How did you start out Bone Cold TV, and when did it start?
First of all, thank you so much for sharing your platform with me. I am beyond appreciative of our friendship. And it's been years, honestly. It's kind of crazy how things grow. I just want to start real fast with addressing something quickly about Bone Cold TV. And we're going to get into that in depth here shortly. But I've been receiving an overwhelming amount of messages and phone calls from people who are concerned that Bone Cold TV is disappearing, and I just want to assure everybody that it is not. Bone Cold is alive and very well, and we're actually beginning the stages to release our 11th season on all of our platforms, which again we'll get into. But there's some stuff put out on social media recently that kind of address the fact that Bone Cold was no longer going to be existing, and that's just not the case. Our business kind of went from a partnership of 3 partners to a partnership of just me and my partner Brian, and so we had to take somewhat of a small hiatus to get all of that stuff done. I mean, just business stuff, and it's just a pain, and it just takes a lot of time. But it is official that it's just me and Brandon on Bone Cold now. We're doing very well, and we have some of the absolute craziest adventure hunts coming out in season 11, and a lot of stuff that we're filming right now for season 12. So we're very much looking forward to continuing, and I thought this would be a perfect place to kind of address that a little bit. So thank you.
No, thank you for informing the people that everything is still going great with Bone Cold TV, and now I'm very excited to hear, how did you guys actually start out, and where did it start?
So Bone Cold, like I just had said, so we are in our 11th season. However, 11 years really is just the tip of the iceberg. As you know, the preparation and the work that goes into building a successful business is mind blowing. So it probably about 20 years ago, we started filming hunts, and the reason we kind of started filming hunts was I've been hunting since my dad could take me in the woods. Absolutely fell in love with it. Would beg to go hunt. He'd get home from work and I'd just beg and make my grandpa take me. And I mean, if I could spend any minute in the woods, that's where I wanted to be. So growing up and going through high school and then into college, growing up in Western New York, we hunted whitetail deer and turkeys and small game, squirrels and rabbits, and we made every hunt an absolute incredible adventure. And then we kind of started branching out a little bit, and I went on a black bear hunt up in Quebec, and we went to Florida and shot a big alligator. And it was like, if we're gonna be doing this stuff, let's film it. And now, as you know, everybody and their brother now has their cell phone, so they film their hunts, and everybody has a YouTube channel. And I mean, you can't jump on social media without scrolling and seeing 50 hunts, especially this time of year now that our turkey seasons in the United States are kicking off. Everybody is filming their turkey hunt, and it's like, oh, hey, some of them are awesome, some of them are not so awesome. But I mean, I'm happy that everyone has that opportunity. Where like 20 years ago when we first started this, I mean, it was a huge investment buying video cameras and buying the mics. I mean, it was crazy, and we didn't even know if it would ever go anywhere. Uh, but yeah, we just started kind of filming our own hunts, and the first couple we did turned out absolutely terrible. We didn't know what we were doing. I learned to edit. Did a terrible job in the beginning. I'm not going to lie to you. Um, but after a few years of doing our own thing, we had enough content where we kind of put out a DVD. And this is back in the days where DVDs were a thing. Um, and it kind of grew in popularity. And then 2 years later we did another DVD, and we just kind of got a real big local following, and it just slowly kind of branched off and got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it just, here we are 19, 20 years later, and looking at 11 seasons on television. So
Yeah, that's
pretty
crazy.
awesome, honestly.
That's very crazy, man. And to know you guys are in season 11, that's like insane, Um, the the thing that I can relate to a lot is the starting up in the beginning. You're buying cameras, you don't know which cameras you have to buy. You don't know what editing software you have to use. All of that was like stumbling blocks in the beginning. But yeah, I mean, if we didn't go through that back in the days, today I think you would have been where you are already because you had to climb those steps to build yourself up in the industry. But tell me with like the DVDs, we never did a lot of DVDs on this side. Did you guys distribute them in hunting shops, in magazines? How did you start with selling the DVDs?
So DVD sales 15 to 20 years ago were huge. That was a big thing. And we did a lot of trade shows. So trade shows were huge. This was and I know I'm making myself sound old, but this was pre the change in social media. And I mean, there was YouTube was just growing. So DVDs were where people got their hunting content. So we did trade shows. We did a lot of trade shows, and we became very popular at trade shows. In Harrisburg at the Great American Outdoor Show, we had a booth there for years, and we would distribute thousands upon thousands of DVDs. I mean, we couldn't make enough DVDs uh, for Harrisburg. Our booth was always the craziest booth. We had giant TVs and music pumping, and people couldn't even walk down the aisle to get to other booths. We got in trouble like every single day at the shows because people wanted to hang out at our booth. I mean, it was the party spot. We used to just have so much fun and talking to people and interacting. And um, DVDs were how people got their hunting content. It has completely changed now, obviously. Um, but yeah, back in the day, that is how we distributed, and it just kind of was like a spiderweb effect where it started small locally, and then more people heard, and the further out we branched, the crazier it got, and people would get their hands on our DVDs and then would contact us, about partnerships and ultimately driving us into doing television.
You said you've got another partner. I know I've also have friends with Brandon on social media. How did he become part of Bone Cold TV?
So this is kind of a crazy story. Yeah, Brandon Scott is my partner with Bone Cold TV. He's been my ride or die forever, honestly. We've been doing the DVD thing and the Bone Cold thing for a long time. However, it wasn't Bone Cold TV until 11 years ago when we started on television. I had another business going where I was doing my own DVDs. And actually, Brandon had his own business going where he was doing hunting DVDs. And out of college, I had a real job. It's kind of crazy to say it like that, but I worked Child Protective Services. and in law enforcement kind of thing. And Brandon did as well. And we actually met at a training a couple hours from my house and a couple hours from his house. I mean, we only lived about an hour apart from each other, but we had to travel this far distance to meet each other. And he was telling me what he did, and I was telling him what I did, and I had heard of him, and he had heard of me. And again, this was probably, oh geez, 16, 17 years ago now. And we just kind of decided, hey, why not take this to the next level, and let's do a DVD release together, where we started hunting together and started filming together, and it just took both of our businesses, from one level up to the next level. And that was kind of when Bone Cold was born. And then from there, it just every year just grows and grows and grows.
Now that's crazy, man, and so awesome that you've got a friend in the industry to do it with you. But what was your guys' vision when you started with Bone Court? Like, I know you guys go on crazy adventures all around the world. Some of the hunts I can only dream of going on. But when you guys started out, what was your vision behind it?
Bone Cold, and you're absolutely right. We do things that no other human beings do ultimately. And I love where this has gone, and where it's going is even better. But, our goal, it's not, we don't do this stuff to make money. We don't do this stuff to become millionaires. We do this stuff because we simply love it. Telling you earlier, since I was a kid, sitting in the freezing cold snowstorms with my dad, trying to watch him shoot a year and a half old 4-point to provide food for our family when I was a kid, I just fell in love with all of it. And that is what Bone Cold is. We do a lot of youth hunts. We do a lot of disabled veteran hunts. We do a lot of disabled people hunts, and we absolutely love giving back. Now, it'd be a lie if I said that I don't absolutely love hunting different species and love the new adventures that we do. But ultimately, that's never where it really was. Like, we just wanted to, we were going to hunt anyway, so why don't we film it? And the TV stuff really never was a thing. It just kind of fell in our lap, honestly, and we kind of just ran with it. And again, it just grows and grows and grows, and it's giving us more and more and more opportunities to do things that most people will never even be able to think about experiencing, let alone experiencing. So it's been just an absolute blessing that we're here.
Now it's really awesome to hear that your platform was a humble beginning, and that's what you keep in mind still going forward today. So that's really awesome to hear. But I know the other stuff that I was amazed to find out is that you do taxidermy work. Where did that journey start?
So again, I'm gonna go back a long time. I used to, when I was a kid, that's all I wanted to do was hunt. That's all I wanted to do, and I wanted to shoot every species. When I was an 11-year-old kid, I shot a black squirrel, which is just a cool animal. And I had shot a raccoon, and we'd put him in the freezer, and I'll never forget it. My dad took me to a taxidermist, and I wanted the raccoon mounted, and I wanted the squirrel mounted, and everything I shot, I was like, Dad, can I have this stuffed? Can I have this stuffed? I want to get this mounted. And taxidermy is not a cheap endeavor. It never has been. And he got the black squirrel mounted for me, and we got the raccoon mounted for me. And then I shot a ruffed grouse. I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna get this mounted. And he was like, listen, if you're gonna do this and get everything you shoot mounted, you need to learn how to do this, because I can't afford dropping hundreds of dollars on everything you shoot. And I thought, and I remember I was in 6th grade. I was 11 years old, and I remember thinking to myself, hey, he's absolutely right. If I did this myself, then I literally could mount every single thing I shot. And I remember I got some books and and videos on cassette tape, and I just went complete nerd and just started learning it. And at the same time, my dad said, hey, if you're going to learn this, I might as well learn it too. So me and him would sit in the garage nights and weekends, and we'd mount things, and they turned out terrible. And we'd throw them away, and then I'd shoot another squirrel, and we'd mount that, and it turned out still terrible, but a little better. And we'd throw it away, and then by the time I went through high school and then college. So when I graduated college and moved back to my hometown, that's when I really started my own little taxidermy shop. Now I had I had jobs and stuff, but it was kind of it's just a small little gig, and but I just got better and better and better. And I mean, well, you can see everything that you're looking at behind me is stuff that I've hunted, shot, mounted, and everything myself now to this point. So I mean, we're doing a lot of crazy things now, and it's just another absolute love of mine. I mean, anything hunting and taxidermy included is just absolutely I can't get enough of it. I absolutely love it.
No, that's really cool, man. And to hear the challenges that you guys faced in the beginning, but I mean, apart from that, you guys obviously learned how to mount the animals. What were the challenges after that you guys faced in learning? Obviously, you went through the learning curve, but now you had to start working with other people's animals. Was there a lot of challenges when you went through that phases as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever you're mounting anything for somebody else, there's a level of commitment that comes in that is beyond doing your own thing. Um, I mean, obviously, when I say you can see a big kudu here behind me. I mean, that was a big kudu I shot years ago. When I'm mounting that, it might be the only kudu I ever shoot in my life. I'm hoping not, but it might be. So I want to make sure that I can preserve it and have it here, and I can look at it, and then my kids look at it, and then it's incredible. I do, and I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I apologize. But I do a lot of shows and stuff. When I say shows, not necessarily shows, but like I'll take a lot of my mounts to some ecology camps where the kids are, and I donate my time and I do seminars and just show these kids, that the kids who have never seen anything like this, and the plan for this building is when I'm done is we're going to have tours of school kids and stuff in here to be able to see different species from around the world. And we've got little segments set up from different areas of the world and stuff like that. But I want it to be good. However, when you're doing something for somebody else, they might only ever have that opportunity to shoot one trophy whitetail in their life. So you've got to make sure that when they come and pick that up, the best thing, the minute they walk in that door and they see their deer, I always hang their deer on a hook. That's literally the first thing you see when you walk in. And I never look at anything else except for their face when they come in. And it's always just this, there he is. And that is the greatest feeling in the world. It's like, yes, yes. And I love it when they're like, oh, he's bigger than I remember. And it's like, yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, it is. It's kind of it can be a humbling thing because, I try not to take it for granted because I get to do so many cool things and I get to see so many cool animals. And a lot of these guys that I do a lot of work for, unfortunately don't, they might have 6 days a year where they have to take off work to try to shoot their deer. And it's, I've got to keep that centered and keep that in my mind. Like, yeah, everything that if they're spending good money to have their stuff done, then it's, it means something to them. So I gotta respect that.
Yeah, I think especially like you mentioned now, if you don't go on all these adventures all across the world, that might be only the trophy buck, the guy who ever shoot in his life. But that's why it's so important, like you mentioned, what you keep in mind is to know that the quality work you put into that trophy is the emotion you see when that guy actually comes and collects his trophy. And I think that is very special to you to see what that means to him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love my stuff. And so I gotta just imagine that these guys have the same amount of respect for their trophy animal as well. So it's kind of one of those things that, if I want it to be as great as I can on my wall, so obviously they're going to want that as well. So it's just one of those things where I have the utmost respect for anybody who hunts, let alone, has the respect for their animal enough to have it mounted.
Now, if you can give some advice to a guy that has, or he's, let's say he's finally got a nice buck, a 8 point 150 class buck showing up on his camera, what are the tips that you would give that guy to make the right cuts when he brings a deer to you, or must he bring the full animal to you, or what tips will you give this guy to make sure you get it in the right manner to mount it for him?
So one of the worst things about taxidermy is the field prep. Some guys are really good at it, but the guy that you're explaining who has only one opportunity in his life to shoot this deer and he finally does it and he's never field prepped a deer. If it's local and the guy calls me, I will tell him 100 times out of 100, come to my shop. just bring the whole deer to my shop. I will skin the whole thing for you on your tailgate. Like just get it here. Don't screw it up, because oh man, have I had some messes come in, and everybody thinks that uh, I'm a magician. It's like, oh, well, you can fix that. It's like, no, no. First of all, I don't want to fix it. And secondly, it's not going to, you can never 100% fix anything. I mean, there's always going to be something. And then it might be good enough for that guy, or it might be good enough for his friend. But to me, it's like, man, I can totally see that. And it just drives me crazy. So I have absolutely no problem with guys bringing entire animals up here. I do work really closely with some butchers, and I've actually gone and showed the butchers, look, this is how you cape a deer. These are the incisions you make. Stop doing it this way. Do it this way. And in the long run, just having that relationship with people in the community has worked to my benefit. I mean, it saved me a ton of time, because I get a lot of stuff from different butchers where guys want to mount, and it makes my life a lot easier just building those relationships. So
Yeah, no, I can totally relate with that, because it's like we've had clients shoot animals, but then the butchers or the capers the skinners on the farm, they didn't cape that animal properly. And now it comes to the taxidermist, and now they made the incision on the wrong side, and now the taxidermist has problems to line up the animal in that way. You can't see the stitching, and yeah, I mean, with
yeah.
our South African animals, mostly it's short hair, so you have to hide those. You have to hide those stitches, and it can become a big problem for a taxidermist if the skinners didn't do their job properly.
Yeah, your guys' animals, it adds a whole nother level of difficulty. There's no doubt. I mean, so it's April. I don't even know what the date is today. It's almost mid-April, and I woke up this morning and we have an inch of snow on the ground, and it's snowing outside. So fortunately for me, most of the animals that we do here are thick-haired, heavy hair, so you can hide a lot more. But yeah, I've been to Africa numerous times. I've done a lot of African game, and it adds a level of difficulty that fortunately I don't have to deal with all the time like you guys do.
Yeah, no, it's the like I said, I've seen some of these difficulties come into play, but yeah, no,
Oh,
but I think yeah, and then let's talk about some of the crazy hunts you guys have been on. What are some of the craziest destinations you have visited?
that is the question that I get the most. Um, it's everybody asks, that question. They ask me, what's your favorite place? What's this? What's that? And I don't necessarily have a favorite. We do have a lot of crazy ones, because every single destination, every single hunt is different, and it becomes my favorite in its own way. Uh, if I had to choose, top two or three, we went to Australia a few years ago. Australia was absolutely incredible. Only because well, the animals were amazing. We bow hunted the Australian water buffalo, and we were very successful. We shot some really, really giant bulls with the bow up close and personal. I mean, just epic, epic footage, just absolutely incredible. But what stands out in my mind on that hunt was getting to that destination, getting to buffalo camp. I mean, we had to fly. I drove from Western New York to Cleveland, and flew from Cleveland to Charlotte, Charlotte to Dallas, and then Dallas to Sydney was 19 hours. And then from Sydney to Darwin was another 7 hours. And then once we hit Darwin, we were 12 hours on dirt to get to buffalo camp. I mean, it was 50 some hours from the minute I left my door before we even rolled into camp, to literally grab your bows and start hunting right then. Um, we slept under a tarp for 7 days, no lodging. It was 100 degrees all day. Never escaped, the heat. I was in the river creek, the one day, just cooling off, and literally a crocodile swam by me, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is insane. It's just kind of one of those things. But the hunt was amazing. The people were amazing, and that's the thing. But then, on the far extreme, we go to Greenland to hunt muskox, and during the day it warmed up to minus 40 degrees. I mean, that was in the heat of the day. So it was like you go from one extreme to the other. And again, we bow hunted muskox, and when we all shot just absolute gorgeous muskox, amazing footage again. It's just so every hunt, but uh, again, the destination is incredible. We were hunting with some of the Inuit people, and just absolutely amazing. So I don't have an answer for my favorite place. Uh, they all become my favorites. They all become my favorites. And we do a lot of vetting. Um, I don't like to just book a hunt because, oh, hey, look, this guy's having a last minute, cancellation special, or hey, this guy's got a 50% off hunt. I have found in the many years of me doing this, you get what you pay for. There's no doubt about it. Uh, and when you're in a place so unforgiving as Greenland or as Australia, you've got to make sure that you're in the right hands. And we've had some bad ones. I was in Sonora, Mexico one time in a place I shouldn't have been. I mean, we were hiding behind cactuses from the drug cartel as they were, cruising. It was a bad situation, and it just leaves you, hiding for hours, thinking, oh man, I got to get home. Like this isn't even worth it. This is wild. But then again, we hunted out of Coral Harbor last year, which is up in Nunavut, and we got to participate in a traditional walrus harvest with some of the Inuit people up there, and that was absolutely mind blowing. And that's actually going to be episode's going to be released really soon on our 11th season. Actually, there's 2 episodes, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, the experience. It was Nunavut Days while we were there, which is the village wide holiday, and being that myself and Landon was with me, and the two of us were the only people that weren't from that village there at the time. They made us the honorary judges for a cake decorating contest, and we got to judge the costume contest where they dress up in traditional Inuit clothing. I mean, it's just all of that stuff on top of the actual hunt just makes these things just absolutely incredible. Just amazing experiences.
Yeah, I remember that hunt with those musk ox. It was so awesome to see how you guys were hunting them, and it was like footage I haven't seen before. But also remember this walruses you hunted last year. Those photos were epic. We were sitting on what is it, like the little beach there with rocks. That was amazing to see.
Yeah, so the walrus hunt is actually so, and I'll explain it to you real quick. I'll try to make this fast because I could talk for hours and hours about this. But so we flew into this little village of Coral Harbor and met up. I have some really good friends now, some Inuits who are able to take people out. So it's about a 60 to 80 mile trek across the open ocean to this little island called Walrus Island. And actually, if you look up on a map, it's an actual it shows up on all of the maps. Like when I was first explained to it, I thought, well, it just must be, what this kind of, but it's not. It's an actual island called Walrus Island, and it's part of the migration when not necessarily the migration, but when the ice flows come off the ocean. The walruses don't have the ice anymore, so they all kind of go to this island, and then they can, from the island, that's where they can sun themselves during the day, and they can kind of base themselves, and then they go down and they dig for clams and stuff at the bottom of the sea, when they're hungry. But it just gives them a place to rest, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of walrus, and that is kind of some of the reason why we went and did this, is because we're trying to help. The Inuits asked us to kind of come up and help debunk some of these myths that are floating around, as that the Arctic wildlife is diminishing because of the melting polar ice caps, stuff like that. I mean, there's never been more walrus in history as there is right now. Same with polar bears. There's more polar bears than there ever has been, but yet the information that's being put out there dictates the opposite, and it's unfortunate because it's just it's just not factual, but that's what's being portrayed as oh, you can't do this because they're the numbers are down, but it's just not the case. And these people literally only have a small window to harvest as many walruses and seals and bears and whales as they can before it becomes 24 hours of darkness again. And you're talking months and months and months of nothing, and there's nothing there. So they harvest all these animals for a 2-month period to provide food for the village for the rest of the 10 months before it happens again. So we were able to participate in that, and we shot a couple walruses and was able to butcher them and take them to the village, and it was just an awesome experience. But
Now I know this has to be one of your most memorable hunts, but is there any other of your epic hunts that you can recall that you can share with us?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, my first hunting trip that I ever took out of New York State, um, I was 17, maybe 18, and I went to Quebec on a bear hunt. And bear hunts are supposed to be, oh yeah, bear hunts. I mean, you're hunting them over bait. It's easy. We do a lot of our hunts on our own. So we just went to Quebec and we got permission on a little piece of property that we paid a trespass fee for, and we did our own baits. And I was naive because it was my first hunt ever, but I remember sitting for 6 days in the stand that I set up, and I never saw a bear. And the bugs were so bad. This, again, I'm going to make myself sound old, but this was before thermocells were invented. Um, so we had bug nets, but the one I got bit on my face so many times that my one eye was swelled shut from mosquito bites. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible thing, but I didn't give up and I didn't give up. And it was the last night. We had to leave the next day. And the bugs were so bad. I just covered my face up like this and I just sat there like this for 10 minutes. And the sun was going down. I thought, okay, 10 more minutes. You never know. And I'll never forget it. I moved my hands like this and I look and there was a bear standing there. And I thought, am I delusional? Am I seeing things? And I had the rifle and it was like, and he started to walk and I just grabbed the rifle and boom, and the hunt was over. But it took 6 days, and I'm talking, I mean, 60 hours of sitting in that stand fighting off the bugs and boredom and to shoot that bear. And it was probably one of the greatest moments in my life because it showed me the first hunt I ever went on. It wasn't, oh, slam dunk, 5 minutes in. Yeah, this is great. This is how hunting trips go. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to accomplish. So now when I'm on a hunt, and we've had hunts that aren't successful. I mean, that's part of hunting. There's no doubt about it. But I've always kind of go back to that one. It's like, listen, you never know. I mean, there's 10 minutes of daylight left on day 10. This still could happen. And it's just kind of one of those things. So that was probably one of the craziest things on just a black bear. And honestly, I've shot a pile of black bears since then. We've got great camps in New Brunswick, and we've got camps in Alberta that we do a lot of bear hunting, and they're phenomenal hunts. But still, I go back to that first one. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, some of the most difficult hunts are one of my memorable hunts as well. But I think that's why we keep on thinking back on that hunt, because it's all the time and effort you put into that, and then how everything happened was just like something you can't forget. But saying that now, visiting all these remote areas and all these destinations, it does require a lot of logistics to get your camera equipment and your hunting equipment that side. So how many challenges have you guys faced doing that?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This is again the vetting of what we do and getting things set up is absolutely the toughest. So Brandon just returned from Argentina. I was supposed to go to Argentina, but with the transfer of the ownership of the business and all the lawyer stuff I had to take care of, it just didn't work out. So Brandon went, but we also took 8 other guys down. So that's kind of one of the things we do too, is we take groups. But that was the Argentina camp that we work very closely with. And I was there 2 years ago and shot an absolute beautiful red stag and a water buffalo. I mean, just an incredible place. So Brandon was unable to go with me 2 years ago. So I told Brandon, I said, listen, you are going. Take the spot, just go. I'm going to stay home. I'll handle the business stuff and take care of it. And he was, oh, well, I'm not going to argue. And he just got back, and man, did they shoot some incredible animals. But it takes a very, very long time to do it properly. Now, again, I know I had said, you can find cancellation hunts and, hey, last minute deal, get here. But it's never going to work out in your favor. We just really spend a lot of time making sure I have the proper tags. And again, I'm just going to throw Argentina out there. You go down for the red stag roar, but if you do things right, you can also get the water buffalo tags. You can get the black buck tags. You can do all that stuff if you're prepared for it. So that's what I try to work when I do work with these outfitters, and I work with people going on these hunts. We go through every step of the checklist. all the logistics, getting the cameras there, what you're going to need at the border. Are you taking a gun? What kind of paperwork do we need? Are you taking a crossbow? And every airline and most hunters are going to say, oh, crossbows are just like bows. Well, they are. They're not considered firearms. However, we have hit a lot of border patrols that treat crossbows like firearms because they have a trigger mechanism. And it's been so we've navigated the system on pretty much every continent at this point. A lot of countries to get this figured out, and it can be pretty crazy. So we were in the Yucatan jungle hunting ocellated turkeys in 2020, March of 2020. Now, if you remember correctly, that is when the pandemic hit. I had a satellite phone, so I would call home every night to check on the kids, talk to my wife. Hey, how's everything going? We're well, we're alive. We got a few more tags to fill. A very successful hunt. It was an absolute one, again, one of my favorites because, we were hunting with the Mayan people and in the jungles, hunting the ocellated turkey. And my wife had said to me every night, listen, it's getting crazy. Like, you guys need to get to the airport and come home. And I'm like, listen, they're not going to shut the world down. Like, we're here for 4 more days. It's not a big deal. And the next night I call and she's a little bit more panicked. Chad, go to the airport, get home. It is getting really bad. And I'm like, come on. Like, what are they going to do? Like, I've done this 1,000 times. We've been everywhere. The next night, the urgency, she's like, Chad, please just listen to me. You need to come home. So it's like, okay. So now again, navigating the system, you know what? We filled our tags. Maybe we need to, let's get back to Merida. Let's see what's going on. So being prepared like that, we had, I was able to kind of switch things around. We were able to get our the bows back and everything. And yeah, we got back home and 48 hours later, the world was shut down. And I was like, man, I was almost stuck on the Guatemala border, living in a tent, 120 degrees in a jungle. And who knows how long I would have been stuck there. So it's kind of one of those things where a lot of guys wouldn't take satellite phones on a hunt like that. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm gone for a week. It's going to be great. I can unplug. I don't have to worry about stuff. But that's a perfect, and God forbid this ever happens again. Hopefully we don't ever have to worry about a pandemic or something like that, but things happen, so I always tell guys, listen, you can rent a satellite phone. They're cheap. You rent one for $100, take it. It's $100 out of your pocket, but the sense, had we not had it, I probably would have been divorced, honestly. She probably wouldn't have, I'd have had to find a wife in Guatemala, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where you've always got to over prepare.
Yeah, that's that's crazy, man. I remember back in 2020 when everybody thought, yeah, this is just going to be a story, and all of a sudden the whole world was shut down, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
Luckily you were prepared with your satellite phone, so I think that's a good tip the guys can take from this for sure. Otherwise you get stuck in a remote place and you don't know what's going to happen with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It could have got real bad really fast, and that was perfect proof of that.
Now, tell me when you guys had to switch over from making your hunting DVDs and changing that to how social media and everything changed. Did you struggle to adapt to get all your videos out there, or through the contacts you build up with your DVDs, was it easy to make that switch?
Yeah, I mean, nothing we do is easy, and you know that. Everything presents its challenges, but yeah, I mean, it went pretty smoothly. We went from this DVD, and it was literally like in a year period. I mean, we were DVD sales and distributing DVDs and trade show. Everybody wanted, hey, where's the new DVD? Where's the new one? To everything's on demand now. I know you guys are on Carbon TV. We are also on Carbon TV as one of our outlets, one of our partners. So no one's going to spend $20 and buy a DVD where they can jump on their smartphone now. And again, 20 years ago, if one guy out of 50 had an iPhone, you were like, oh my gosh, an iPhone, that's amazing. And now it's, if you don't have an iPhone, whatever. So why would you spend $20 to watch something that you can just grab your phone and watch? It's just, I don't even have a DVD player. I mean, and I don't think anybody does anymore. Everything's on demand, and this is the way of the world. So you adapt and you change. So YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. After our episodes air on our networks that we work with, they immediately get uploaded to YouTube. So if you miss it on one of our networks, oh, there was a new episode of Bone Cold. Let me jump on there. Hey, guess what? It's there. Let me watch it here. So, our season 10, we had well over 1 million views on our episodes. So people are obviously watching it. Yeah, did it hurt our wallet a little bit? Yeah. I mean, when you're selling thousands and thousands of DVDs and you all of a sudden a year later you sell 0 DVDs because, again, why would you buy a DVD when you can jump on Carbon TV and watch this for free? Totally understandable. So I mean, you just have to adjust, and you just have to go with the times. I mean, and I'm not complaining because I do the same thing. I haven't watched television in years. We don't even have cable. Like, I mean, I have kids. My kids don't even know what cable is. Like, they stream everything, and so do I. I mean, if I'm on, if I do sit down for 2 minutes, which isn't very often, I'll throw on YouTube and see, hey, let's watch, Huntech Pro or whatever. So it's just, I mean, it's just one of those things. You just kind of go with it.
That's crazy how everything changed with the technology. I remember when we started out filming our episodes, I couldn't watch anything to know how my episode must look, and that's what we spoke about. It's how the mistakes we made in the beginning and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that I sit in South Africa and I can upload my content to Carbon TV or YouTube. You sit in the USA, you can watch it immediately. It's just it's insane to see how quickly everything has changed. But with partners like Carbon TV and all the other guys, it really helps us to grow our name out there as well, and to get our message across through the episodes we put on there. The one challenge we definitely face is people don't actually realize what it takes to get the perfect shot on camera. Can you explain to me some of the difficulties you've had to get the perfect shot on camera?
So it's almost impossible, honestly. And when it does happen, it's nothing short of a miracle, honestly. When the things do come together, it's mind blowing how it worked, and there's no answer for it. I mean, out of all of the places that animal could have went at that moment to end up in front of the camera, or to end up doing what it needs to do to get that shot for the television show, I can't explain it. It's just one of those things where I thank God after every hunt, whether it's successful or not, but there's a reason that happened, and it's bigger than myself. It just is. I can tell you about all the times I've screwed up waiting for that perfect shot. We have lost a lot of opportunities because, hey, there's that big giant whitetail. Well, he's right there. I could kill him, but I can't move the camera right this second. So let's just see if he goes from here to here, and then I'll shoot him. And then he goes this way instead. And then, you come home and you say, oh, hey, I could have shot that giant whitetail I've been hunting for 60 days straight. And, well, why didn't you? Well, because it wasn't on camera. And it's like, people just don't understand that we do this for a reason. And I mean, the opportunities that have disappeared because of that darn camera is more so than I'd like to get into, honestly, because it's heartbreaking on some of them. This room would have a few more big ones hanging. There's no doubt about that. But it is what it is. If you're trying to put out a show with content, there's nothing, and I'm not saying anything wrong or bad about anybody, but again, everybody has an iPhone and they film everything, and there's nothing. My time is crazy, and I never sit down. I never turn on the TV. But if I do, or if I'm on the elliptical or something, I'll turn on YouTube for 20 minutes, and there's a 20-minute episode, and I'm like, oh, this looks awesome. The title, oh, big Saskatchewan elk or something. And then after 20 minutes, it's just then the guy sitting there talking and giving you tips, and then they never shoot anything. It just drives me insane. It's like, what am I doing? It's like, yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that just drives me insane. If it works for those guys, great. And I'm happy that you have a platform and everything. But for me, I would never do that to my viewers. And that's one of the things where it really grew our popularity really early, was we were so content heavy. All of our shows included numerous harvests. It wasn't just, hey, watch me walk around the woods for 19 and a half minutes. And then in that last minute, you're going to see me shoot a deer. I don't like watching myself on camera. I don't think I'm good. I don't like my personality. I think I'm boring. So we just get right to it. It's like, listen, here's today we're in Western New York. We're hunting this deer. Here's what I've been doing. Trail cam pics. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get into it. Deer comes. We harvest. I tell you how it happened, and then we move on. And 6 minutes later, we're on another hunt. And that was what really grew our popularity early. Was people are getting the bang for their buck, and people absolutely loved it, and it just kind of drove us to where we are.
Yeah, so I think this is a great topic for you guys now. So what is next for Bone Call TV?
So season 11, this is a perfect place to announce it. I mean, we are season 11. So what is it's almost mid-April, the month of May, our season 11 will start to drop. We've got some absolute incredible hunts. The big hippo here behind me, that episode's coming out. Footage on that, and it's tough. I do a lot. I do research before I go on a hunt. I'll try to watch a lot of stuff of what other people have done. And I'm not trying to be biased, but that hippo hunt is the best one you're going to find on YouTube. I can tell you that. It's good. I'm super proud of it. Our walrus hunts this year on season 11, absolute incredible stories. The harvests are incredible as well, just amazing animals. And we do a lot of Inuit kind of stuff with that, which is really cool. We've got a Manitoban elk hunt that's phenomenal. Brandon's red stag trip to Argentina is going to be season 11, which is phenomenal. We just got a lot of really, really amazing adventure hunts coming out in season 11. So we're filming for season 12 right now. I leave in about a week. I'm heading back up to Nunavut. So we talked a little bit about my mountain muskox from Greenland. We are hunting barren ground muskox in a week and a half, way up in northern, about as far north Canada as you can get. It'll be, again, 20 to 40 below zero every day. So we're going to go bow hunt muskox in a week and a half. And then we might be back in Argentina for water buffalo. That's still up in the air. But then we're in Croatia in October hunting the Eurasian brown bear. We also are going to be looking at hunting bantang back in Australia. I kind of have a thing for the big buffalo type animals, and bantang has been on my list for many, many years. So that's a huge one for me. And then I also have a polar bear permit for next April. So a year from now, we'll be filming a polar bear hunt. And then, of course, in between all these crazy trips, we've got a bunch of other cool stuff planned that'll just be popping up on social media. You'll see us with all sorts of fun stuff. Turkey season starts. My daughter she's 13 this year. She shot a turkey last year and the year before, and she absolutely loves it. So every single day when she gets home from school, because they get on the bus early, and I own property right here. And so every day she gets off the bus, she's like, "Did you listen for turkeys this morning?" It's like, "Yes, there was one out there gobbling on the point this morning." She's like, okay, keep, so yeah, we'll be doing some turkey hunting and obviously our whitetails and bear season's coming. So there's always a chance in the spring we're bear hunting somewhere. So we've got a lot of stuff coming. And again, like I said, Bone Cold is alive and well and thriving. So we've got some cool stuff.
No, that's really cool to hear, man. And it sounds like you guys have a busy year lined up for you guys. But I'm so glad to see and hear that you guys are up and at it. And I can't wait to see all the new content. And definitely, I think that musk ox hunt's gonna be awesome again. And I know with that bone call chilling weather you guys are gonna have, it's gonna be insane. But I can't wait to see those posts.
I told my wife when I got back from Greenland after the last muskox hunt. I told her when I came home, I said, "Listen, if I ever tell you I'm doing that again, remind me of how terrible it was. I hate being cold." And I told her, I said, "Just remind me, because I know myself." And I told her I was going back muskox hunting. She's like, "Wasn't that like when you were super cold?" And I was like, yeah, it was. And she's like, "Okay, I'm just reminding you because it's just the conditions are just brutal." I mean, in Greenland, we stayed in this little 8x8 plywood shack about 6 hours from the village by snowmobile. there's no, you're in tundra, so I mean, there's no trees, so you're heating with oil from whale blubber, and I mean, there's so much that could go wrong, but the adventure is just unbelievable. And this trip up north is going to be about the same. I'm going to be cold for a long time, but it'll be worth it. I'm telling you. That's what I keep telling myself. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, well, everything is worth the harvest if you get it. So then you have
Yep.
to suck it up, you know.
Yep, that's it. That's exactly it.
So yeah, I know, man. I think we have spoken about it in a bit on social media and stuff, but I'm really excited to see if we can do some collaborations together, you know, with Bone Cold and Huntech Pro.
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that we need to do something. Whether you get over here, I mean, you must have. I know you've been over here a few times. I've seen you guys shoot some nice whitetails and things, but there's got to be some sort of species that's over here that you want. That we definitely need to get you over here, and we'll go chase them. That's all we can do.
No, that sounds exciting, man. Yeah, I'm always up for a hunt, you know. I got so exciting hunting squirrels that side, so you know, if it moves, I want to go hunt it. So
that's it. That's what I've always said, man. If you can get a tag for it, I'm going to hunt it at some point.
yeah, man, it's I'm really excited about it, and I know we also can offer some nice and unique hunts this side. You know, we've got so much access. I've got access over 100,000 acres across South Africa already, so. You know, whatever people want to hunt, over 42 huntable species already on the list. So whenever we can make a plan to do something, I'm really keen for it.
Absolutely. Well, there's a few more African animals that I need to hang in here, so we'll definitely have to figure it out.
Yeah, man. But I think if you can tell the people where can they find out more about Bone Cold TV, that'll be great.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, so in the past we've aired on Pursuit channel. So you can watch us on Pursuit, Wild TV. So Wild TV in Canada is actually really big for us. And then Carbon TV. We just started on another new network, PPO TV. Honestly, we're on about a dozen networks right now. But the big push, and again, because of on demand, is YouTube. Our YouTube channel is huge. It grows. Like I said, on season 10, we have well over 1 million views on all the episodes, and we're kind of doing a little bit of a best of type thing right now, where every couple of weeks we're just throwing out a 4 or 5 minute best of hunt that came from our past 10 seasons, which is kind of cool. You can kind of relive. That's when Chad shot that chocolate brown black bear up in Alberta, instead of having to go back and try to find, season 3, episode 9, it's just like, hey, here's a 6-minute clip of, the best part of that. So it's kind of cool. So we're doing that right now too. Our season 11 will be dropping on our YouTube stuff after it airs on television as well. So we do a lot of local station stuff around the country. That's always real popular, which is kind of cool because, being in Western New York, we actually air on one of the Buffalo networks every Sunday morning at 11:30, and it's always the network that has the Buffalo Bills pregame that starts at noon. So it's on in every bar around because everyone's getting ready for the Bills pregame. So every Sunday I get messages like, hey, a picture of me is like, hey, I'm at so and so's bar right. You're on their TV right now. It's like, oh yeah. So with that being said, go Bills. Besides that, I mean, it's impossible not to find us at this point. I mean, a simple Google search of Bone Cold TV or Bone Cold Media, which is our production company, you can find us. And Brandon and myself, we do all of the editing, all of the closed caption. We do it all in-house. It's all done ourselves, again, self-taught. It's just us doing our thing.
No, thank you for sharing that, man. And hopefully soon we can sit next to a campfire somewhere. If it's not in the States, here in Africa, we must definitely make a plan to get together. But no, it's awesome to hear that you guys are everywhere available. And guys, please go make sure to go check out Bone Cold TV on Google. Just search it, you'll be able to find them. But Chad, I think this is a great point where you can maybe give some aspiring hunters or filmmakers some advice.
Well, so as far as advice, I mean, honestly, I would just say, just you got to go for it. You've got to go for it. I've had a lot of people tell me for years, one of these days I'm going to go on a trip with you, or one of these days I'm going to do this. And when I retire, I'm going to do this. And I've had so many close people never make it. If there's something you want to do, go for it. I have a lot of people say to me or send me messages. I mean, and I'm sure you do too. You definitely get the hate mail. Oh, must be nice. And it's like, it is nice, but I work so hard to make it nice. If there's something you want, there is absolutely nothing that you can't do with hard work. And that's it. Some of these hunts are expensive, well beyond budgets, but you figure it out. Don't go home at 5 o'clock after your work shift and sit on the couch for 6 hours and watch TV. Do something else. I mean, it's doable. Every single person has every opportunity to do what I do. You just got to go for it.
No, that's great advice. And definitely, if the guys want to live the lifestyle you're living, they must listen to it. But Chad, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast, man. It's been a blast chatting with you.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate the invite on here, and I look forward to hunting with you.
No, I really can't wait for that. But guys, if you want to find out more about Bone Call TV, I'll mention all the descriptions in the comments below, and make sure to tune into the next podcast, because where every hunt there's a story worth sharing. So thank you for joining in today's podcast.